Grand Rapids Community College. I teach in fashion and in interiors. And this particular class that we have here today at Lemon Holton Cancer Pavilion is our clothing construction. These are beginner sewers. Many of them never knew how to even thread a sewing machine, let alone how to sew on a sewing machine. So they've had to learn everything from basic straight stitches to how to back up a stitch, how to make a buttonhole, put in a zipper. But they also had to learn how to read patterns, cut out the patterns, get the patterns to fit them. But the other thing I wanted them to learn is because they have to learn to do a lot of straight stitching, I wanted them to learn how to cut using a rotary cutter. So we have this service learning project, which is an addition to the regular curriculum. And this shows how they can take their learning from within the classroom out into someplace in the community. And I chose Lemon Holton Cancer Pavilion because I have been part of Lemon Holton and I wanted to give back. And I felt it was a good project that we could do because with that we could put to use, which they have been learning in their other classes, color theory, like what is a monotone color, what is analogous colors, what are triadic, what are complementary. But also we've learned about colors in fashion, about how colors affect people, make them happy, make them sad, make them calm, make them feel warm. And so we talked about how colors in a quilt, which is what our project is, making quilts for the patients here, how colors can affect them and help them through their treatments. The other thing that my students had to learn was to apply design. We learn about the elements and principles of design in their intro class and in all their classes, and we try to reintroduce that also within every class that they take. So we had to learn about design. What is harmony? What's balance? What is unity? What is rhythm? So we applied those elements as well. So they had to apply their color theory, their elements and principles of design, and they had to apply their new skills, which was cutting with a rotary cutter, and they had to learn how to sew these pieces together on their sewing machine. And then they have other things that they will tell you that they had to learn to do, which was they had to design their own quilts. So we took graph paper and colored markers, and they had to design quilts. Of course, many of them came up as wonderful designs, and then I'm the old ogre who has to say, now, is that within your new sewing skills, or is that above your sewing skill? So they would say, oh, okay, it's above. So, but they came up with their own color patterns and designs. They bought their own fabric. And so with that, we learned how to piece it together. Then we learned how to compile it with the batting and the back of it, and then how to sew it together. They could sew it together like an envelope or use binding, and several of them do have binding on their quilts. Okay. So that's our project, is to take what we've learned in the classroom and to give it away to someone else. And I'm hopeful that people, and that they will be not only more aware about cancer, but that the people who will receive these will know that there are people thinking about them and caring about them.
Excellent. Why don't we take a look at some of them? And if you just want to introduce yourself and show us your quilt.
Can you open that up completely? That's the beauty
My name
of it.
is Virginia, and this is the quilt I made.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful.
She has a lot of batik fabrics in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
My name is Justine, and this is my quilt.
Very nice. Thanks.
My name is Ryan. I went with something a little bit more fun-loving, a little childish, but I feel it brings life into people's eyes.
That's very cool. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Matisse. This is my quilt. I wanted to do monochromatic, but as you can see, there are pops of color into it. So even though this is kind of a dark time for a lot of people, I want them to know that there are pops of color. So
Okay,
thank
good.
you. I'm Hannah, and this is my quilt.
Oh, okay.
I went with more of a calming colors of blues and greens.
Okay. Very nice.
And this is a girl named Demi's quilt.
Cool butterfly on there. Nice. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patricia, and this is my quilt.
I'm going to move over here so I can get better light. There we go. Tell me your name again.
Patricia,
Patricia. Okay, beautiful.
thank you. Well, thank you for choosing mine.
gorgeous.
Thank you. The reason I chose this color is because bright colors always lighten, the day, and it helps. And I'm so glad that I'm able to give this to you, and I hope you enjoy it.
I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's gorgeous. I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can wash that.
Yes.
It's all kind.
Okay. Okay. I know.